powerful strategies on how to sell anything to anyone. Today, we are diving into one of the most valuable skills that you can have. Whether you are selling a product, a service, or even an idea, I'm going to give you 5 proven strategies that can help you close deals like a pro. These tips work no matter who you are selling to or what you are selling, and they will transform the way you approach every sale. Let's get into it. Point number 1 is identify the buyer's need. I mean, this is cliche. This is very, very basic. If you don't understand what someone needs, how will you even provide a solution in the first place? So the first and most crucial step in selling is understanding what the buyer truly needs. People don't buy products or services. They buy solutions to their problems. So if you can pinpoint what they are facing, then you can position what you are offering as the best solution. Let me share something with you guys. When I used to work as a credit risk analyst, there are times, just for the sake of relationship management, we go out to see prospective clients to see if they are still interested in our products. Then because we used to sell 3 types of product, we had personal loan, we had business loan, and then we had housing loan. So there was this particular client that I've been talking to for a while. Keep in mind, we've been speaking only on the phone for some time because he's a very busy person and he's a businessman, of course. So there was a day, when after I kept on calling him just to keep up with the relationship. Then there was a day he finally agreed to meet me in person. So of course I went to his office. We exchanged pleasantries. Good afternoon, how you doing? Blah blah blah. It's been a while. We had few conversations. Just trying to break the ice. So during the conversation, he apologized that sorry, he has been busy. He hasn't had time to meet me for a while because he was working on a real estate project. And keep in mind, all this while speaking to this guy on the phone, all I've been selling to him was business loan, because I felt he was a businessman, and of course he would need business loan, not knowing that this guy didn't want anything that had to do with business loan. He was actually working on a real estate, so which means he needed housing loan. But I wouldn't have known this if I didn't meet him or if we didn't have this conversation. So in my mind, knowing that this guy was working on a real estate, I immediately knew I was selling the wrong product to him. So during the conversation, I was able to tell him really, you're working on a real estate project? Wow, how is it going? He explained to me, blah blah blah, and then I told him, do you know that we also offer housing loan? And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And then we started talking about it, and before you know it, this guy was interested. We became business partners, and I was able to sell our product to him. But I was able to do this because I was able to understand what this guy actually wanted. All this while I've been selling him business loan, and he didn't want it. He refused it every single time. But the moment I understood what this guy really wanted, which was a housing loan, I was able to tailor my solution to meet his needs. So just imagine the amount of time I would have saved everyone if, instead of me assuming that because he's a businessman, he will need a business loan, I tried to understand what this guy truly needs, and I sold him what he wanted in the first place. I would have saved myself a lot of time and energy. So which leads me to my next point, which is establishing trust and credibility. Trust is everything in sales. If a client doesn't feel like they trust you enough to want to do business with you, it doesn't matter how smart you are, it's not going to work. Because before someone buys from you, they need to believe that you are credible and that your product or service is reliable. Building that trust comes from listening, being transparent, and offering real value. It's easy to sound smart, it's easy to sound prepared. You want to look good, you want to smell nice, you want to cram all the nice words, you want to sound smart to this client. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It can work in some cases. But if you don't find a way to connect with this prospective client, if you don't find a middle ground where this person can feel like he or she can actually trust you, then if you can have the best presentation possible, you can even wear the most expensive suit, or you can even wear the most expensive cologne just to impress this person. But I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a waste of time and resources. So instead of going there to sound smart, to sound intelligent, to say the right words, maybe, for example, during your conversation with this client, you realize this client likes football, and luckily for you, maybe you guys even support the same team. Start from there. Build a connection from there. And from there, you can slowly start to introduce what you want the client to buy from you, or whatever service you want to render to this client. But because you already have a common ground, you already built that connection with that client, the client is going to be more open to whatever you are offering or whatever you're willing to sell. And point number 3 is use storytelling to sell. Storytelling is one of the most powerful tools in sales. So rather than just listing off features or benefits, telling a compelling story about how your product or service has helped others can emotionally engage your buyer and make your offer more relatable. There's this famous quote in the book called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And the quote goes, "The key to be seen, heard, and understood is to simplify your message and tell a story." I could easily just come here, give you a list of what I want to talk about, garnish it with some boring facts and statistics, and just end the video, which might work in some cases. But did I really connect with you guys? Did I really give you something to think about at the end of the video? Probably not. But to increase the chances of that happening, that's why I decided to share something personal with you guys to make this video more relatable. And speaking of being relatable, if you've made this far in this video and you like this content, and you feel like we have something going on and there's a chemistry building between me and you, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, as this helps me as well. Let's continue with the video. Point number 4 is overcome objection confidently. There's this famous book called Sell with a Story by Paul Smith. And there's a famous quote in this book that says, "The most effective stories in selling don't just describe how your product works, they address the buyer's specific concern or objections." Every buyer will have objections. No matter how perfect your sales pitch is, everybody you're going to sell something to will have 1 or 2 things that they want to tweak. It's called negotiation. It could be the pricing, or it could be the timing. The key here is to not fear these objections, but to address them confidently and show why your offer is worth it. For example, if a customer says your product is too expensive, instead of lowering the price immediately, explain why the product's quality, durability, or results justify the price. It's all about giving the potential customer a reason why they should buy something from you. That is all what it's about. Even if they object, even if they say no, or even if they have their own concerns, all you're supposed to do is answer it in a very professional and confident manner. The key here is to make the customer feel like they are missing out by not buying from you. And this ties to the next point, which is create urgency and encourage action. Creating urgency is a great way to motivate people to take actions. But remember, urgency should be genuine, which means whatever you are selling to the client, don't sell crap to the person, or don't lie just because you want to sell. Whatever you are selling, whatever you are offering, it has to be genuine and authentic. Because from my experience, once they find out that whatever you are selling is not genuine, or whatever you are offering is not genuine, and you are not being truthful, you will not get an opportunity with this client ever again. And that's why I said in the second point that trust is a very, very, very important factor when it comes to sales. The moment you lose that trust, it's over for you. There's this famous book called The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. And the quote says, "People seem to be more motivated by the thought of losing something than by the thought of gaining something of equal value." Simple. Fear of missing out. People don't like to miss out on something. So as long as you can tap into people's fear of missing out, it's an effective psychological strategy to drive actions without overly pressuring the customer. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 5 powerful strategies to help you sell anything to anyone, whether you are new to sales or a seasoned pro. Understanding your buyer's needs, building trust, and creating urgency can make all the difference. If you found this video helpful, like I know you did, then there's a popular saying in sales that says, "The way you dress is the way you're going to be addressed." So if you want to understand why looking poor is important, click on this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.